What's up, it's Jan back at it again with another nerdy bookish video. This is gonna be my most anticipated May 2023 releases. Alrighty, so I have 10 titles here that I'm excited for this month. It is currently May 4th as I'm filming this, and some of these came out on May 2nd, so sorry, but I'll probably have this up in a couple days, so it'll be even longer but hopefully I have this up before the next release date, so before next Tuesday. We shall see. I just ate like hot Cheeto puffs and a Caesar salad, so like all that like stuff is in my throat. Anyway, we're gonna start. I have 3 physical copies, 2 of them are ARCs. First one I just finished a couple days ago, the day of its release actually, because I got this ARC like sometime last year. Penguin sent it to me, so thank you so much, Penguin Teen. And then they sent me a final hardcover that's elsewhere, but this is the ARC that I read. Check out my Instagram because I did do a reel featuring this book, and I worked with Penguin Teen to promote it. Finished it on May 2nd. It's called Chasing Pacquiao by Rod Polito. This is so tabbed up. I gave this one 4 stars. I just love reading books by Filipino authors. It's so weird but cool seeing like myself and my culture and my family in books, and like my family's mannerisms and things like that, and like how I grew up, the food we eat and everything. This was no exception. I really enjoyed the culture aspect, the Filipino-ness interwoven into this book. So basically this is like a coming of age story. It's about this queer teenage guy who is not out yet, but his boyfriend is, and so he's grappling with that. He's also very passionate about boxing, and he gets a job at this boxing gym. In exchange, he asks for lessons because his idol is Manny Pacquiao. I have also idolized Manny Pacquiao for fucking years. Grew up watching every single fight of his. I went all out, like it was a whole family event. If you're Filipino, you know it's basically our Super Bowl when Manny Pacquiao fights. And then about 7 years ago, I just found this out too. Well, so I vaguely kind of remember it, but I was younger and like I was just so hyper focused on like idolizing him that I didn't even look into it. I didn't look into what he actually said, but he believes some homophobic things that he stated in these interviews, and it's just wrong. If you want to look it up, but I am not gonna repeat what he said. And so it's just heartbreaking because like I feel the same way as this guy who finds out that his biggest hero doesn't, you know, support him and his community and like a huge part of his identity. That was just jarring to actually look into right before reading this. Like I had no idea that that's what he said, and I just feel like a fool for supporting Manny Pacquiao. Trigger warning for extreme homophobia and bullying and physical abuse. It gets brutal. Definitely be careful going into this. Like make sure you're in a good headspace, especially if you are part of the LGBTQIA+ community. It also discusses classism a lot, so it packs up, no pun intended, it packs a punch in 256 pages. Like there are a lot of conversations that go on, and it's definitely powerful. But then there's also humor in it. He and his boyfriend are into comics, and his best girlfriend is a comic artist as well. I really enjoyed it. Another book that came out May 2nd is We Don't Swim Here by Vincent Tirado. This is written by the author of Burn Down, Rise Up, which I have yet to read. I got it last year. Source Books sent me this ARC, so that was a nice surprise. I think I do want to read Burn Down, Rise Up before reading this one, but I have this on my shelf, so eventually I will read it. It's a YA horror, and it says for fans of Tiffany D. Jackson and Lamar Giles, who's the author of The Getaway. Bronwyn is only supposed to be in rural Hillwoods for a year. Her grandmother's on hospice. Her father needs to get her affairs in order. All she hears are warnings about going in the water despite a gorgeous lake, and a pool at the abandoned rec center, and another in the high school basement. Anais tries her hardest to protect her cousin from the shadows of Hillwoods. She follows her own rituals to avoid any unnecessary attention, and if she can just get Bronwyn to stop asking questions, she can protect her too. Bronwyn doesn't get that the lore is true. The living aren't the ones who seek retribution when they're wronged, but when Bronwyn does more exploring than she should, they're both in for danger they couldn't expect. If you're looking for a book written by a non-binary Afro-Latin author, here you go. And it sounds really creepy. I'm not a fan of books that center around water, but horror I can get behind sometimes, so I have decent hopes for that one. Another one that came out May 2nd, but I actually got from Barnes & Noble on April 28th because because the universe said you deserve it, bitch. Sorry for this bird who's going ballistic outside my window. But I got Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros, and I just love that it's like a regular edition with stenciled edges. And those are fucking dragons, my dude. Those are not your typical bird. Some of the chapters start in the middle of the page. I love that. So this will definitely be read hopefully very soon. I'm thinking in like June, because I'm trying to read as many Asian authors in May as I can, with some exceptions. But this, I think I can wait till June. But I've been like obsessed with it. 20-year-old Violet was supposed to enter the scribe quadrant, living a quiet life among books and history. Now the commanding general, also known as her toughest Talon's mother, has ordered Violet to join the hundreds of candidates striving to become the elite of Navarre, dragon riders. But when you're smaller than everyone else and your body's brittle, death is only a heartbeat away, because dragons don't bond to fragile humans, they incinerate them. With fewer dragons willing to bond than cadets, most would kill Violet to better their own chances of success. The rest would kill her just for being her mother's daughter. Yet with every day that passes, the war outside grows more deadly, the kingdom's protective wards are failing, and the death toll continues to rise. Even worse, Violet begins to suspect leadership is hiding a terrible secret. Friends, enemies, lovers, everyone at Basquiat War College has an agenda, because once you enter, there are only two ways out: graduate or die. That part kind of sounds like a deadly education, which I kind of hate. I haven't read the synopsis at all for this. I just knew it has dragons in it and it's pretty. My friend Lisa, a patron, said that it's kind of like How to Train Your Dragon, and Joey and I just watched that last week, so I'm very much in the dragon mood and I'm so excited for this, and it's just so gorgeous. I don't even want to annotate it because then it'll ruin the stenciled edges. Maybe I won't. Maybe I won't tab it. Maybe I'll just write in it, question mark? I don't know. Another one that came out May 2nd is called The Salt Grows Heavy by Cassandra. This is the author of Nothing But Blackened Teeth, which I gave 2 stars, but I'm willing to give her another chance because her books are really short. So this is a fantasy horror novella. It's only 112 pages. I put it on hold at the library, so hopefully I'll read this month. It'll take me like one sitting. There are mermaids, plague doctors, ageless children who thirst for blood, and 3 saints who control them. The mermaid and her doctor must embrace the cruelest parts of their true nature if they hope to survive. So it's like a fairy tale-esque type of horror. We'll see if it's my thing. I really like this cover. It's interesting. I'm excited to get my hands on it whenever my hold comes in. The next book that also came out on the 2nd is called No Two Persons by Erica Bauermeister. This cover just reminds me of Book Eaters by Sunny Dean, which I have yet to read, but I do own it. But this is another bookish book. It says 1 book, 9 readers, 10 changed lives. That was the beauty of books, wasn't it? They took you places you didn't know you needed to go. Alice has always wanted to be a writer. Her stories remain safe and detached until a devastating event breaks her heart open and she creates a stunning debut. Each person has a different story. They're drawn to Alice's novel. Each one discovers something different that alters their perspective and presents new pathways forward for their lives. Together, their stories reveal how books can affect us in the most beautiful and unexpected of ways, and how we are all more closely connected to one another than we may think. That just sounds so good and sounds like something that would make you reappreciate and be re-grateful about books and being a reader. I feel like this one would hit. I'm gonna put it on my wish list right now so I don't forget that I want it, because it's one of those that, like, if I'm not looking at it, I'm not gonna remember I want it, you know? I don't know how to explain that, but if you get it, you get it. The next release date is May 9th. Ooh. This next book is called I'm Not Supposed to Be in the Dark by Riss M. Nielsen, and this is the author of Deep in Providence, which I have. I got it as a gift from a subscriber, so thank you. This is a paranormal young adult romance that follows a teen convinced that her best friend turned enemy is possessed by a ghost. Perfect for fans of White Smoke and Twilight. And that's literally all I needed to read. It does not look like a ghost story when you see the cover. It kind of reminds me of, what's it called? Cinderella is Not Dead or something like that, or Is Dead. So I thought it was like a fantasy, but it's like paranormal. So that's pretty fucking cool. I'm excited for this. It has a 4.31 so far on Goodreads. So exciting. And then the next one is actually one of my book of the month picks this month. It's called The Collected Regrets of Clover. I was interested in this one because it explores the notion of death a lot, and it makes you like appreciate life more, just like themes of We Spread and Death in Her Hands, and that one Frederick Bachman book with the long ass title. I think it's like And the Long Way Home, and the way home every morning gets longer and longer, something like that. Like those all talk about death and everything. I don't know what a doula is, a death doula, but I'm assuming it's just like someone who works with the dead. Oh, and caring for others at the end of their life. maybe you should read Jan. So there's this woman, Clover, who has always felt a connection with the dying. This book will turn the normally taboo subject of death into a reason to celebrate life. And that alone, I was like, I think this is gonna make me cry, and I think I'm gonna love it. At first, I was not interested because the cover is not my cup of tea. Like, it's too colorful for my liking. It says for fans of the Midnight Library, which I do like the themes of, but I gave 3 stars. I think it was super overhyped, but that's just me. I do want to reread it at some point though, because maybe my mind will change. I'm excited to get my hands on this whenever my book of the month box comes in. The next release date I have on here is May 16th, Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. This book. Okay, Jodie from Vanilla Moon just finished this very recently and gave a whole ass review and gave it 5 shining stars, and she's not a lit fic girly, so the fact that she loved it, like, I knew I was gonna love it because I love Babel so far. I'm only 220 pages in, but I will finish it. I will finish it this month, she said, hopefully. I knew I was gonna love it because of the author and the writing style, but yeah, the fact that Jodie loves it just makes me even more hyped for it. I already pre-ordered it. I wish I got one of the special editions with like the typewriter edges, but it's fine, it's fine. We're just gonna settle. I think I got the Barnes & Noble exclusive. So basically, you're reading from this unlikable white character who basically steals the manuscript of her Asian friend who passed away, claims it as her own, and then so this book is supposed to expose issues of the publishing industry, the effects of like the book community online and everything. So I'm really excited to see things through this book and, you know, see even parts of myself, because like obviously I consume and make book content all the freaking time, and I just want to see these things in the publishing industry exposed. I'm so excited to see how this plays out because it's from the perspective of the antagonist. So really stoked for that one. That's one of my most highly anticipated of the year, and I love the cover. I love the simplicity with the eyes and the yellow. It's perfection. The next release date is May 23rd, and the one book I have for that date is called The Chateau by Jacqueline Goldis, and y'all know I love everything set in France, creepy castles and like that Victorian-esque vibe. I didn't even need to read the synopsis, but I'll read some of it to y'all. A dream girl's trip to a luxurious French chateau devolves into a deadly nightmare of secrets and murder in this stylish, twisty thriller for fans of Lucy Foley, Ruth Ware, and Lisa Jewell. The lady of the chateau has opened its elegant doors to her granddaughter Darcy and her 3 friends. 20 years earlier, the 4 girlfriends studied abroad together in France and visited the old woman on the weekends, creating the group's deep bond. But why this sudden invitation? After a wild evening celebration, Seraphine, the lady of the chateau, is found brutally murdered. A sinister Instagram account pops up, snapshots from the friends' intimate moments at the chateau, threatening to reveal more. So there's a blackmail situation going on and a stalker situation. Wow, I did not know about that last part. I might purchase this book. Not soon, but soon enough. It sounds so fucking good. Honestly, I might buy it when it comes out. I forgot that it hasn't come out yet. So the last book on this list comes out on May 30th, and it's called Witch King. It's by Martha Wells, who's the author of the Murderbot Diaries. You know, it says witch in the title. Of course I'm gonna be interested in it. It's that classic fantasy cover. I saw demon in the synopsis and I was like, okay, I'll add it to the list. It says, after being murdered, his consciousness dormant and unaware of the passing of time while confined in an elaborate water trap, Kai wakes to find a lesser mage attempting to harness Kai's magic to his own advantage. But why was Kai imprisoned in the first place? He'll need to pull his allies close and draw on all of his pain magic if he has to answer these questions. He's not gonna like the answers. In the beginning it says, I didn't know you were a demon, you idiot. I'm the demon. So I'm really excited for it. It says a story of power and friendship, of trust and betrayal, and of the families we choose. So that sounds fun. That one's not like too high on my priority list, but it sounds like a good time. So those are all 10 of my May anticipated releases. Let me know in the comments down below if you're excited for any of these titles as well, or if you're gonna be reading any of these this month. I'm gonna try to read Yellowface this month as well. So if you made it to the end of this video, let's put a yellow heart emoji in the comments down below to represent Yellowface. Thank you so much for watching. Hope y'all had a great day. Stay safe, stay positive, stay safe, and stay spooky always, and I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye.